This is a Thor News presentation. Thor News presents Comet C2012 S1 ISON and WTF NASA. Seriously, bro.
Part 24. They don't know for 100% if ISON is a comet. An amateur astronomer recovers it. Professional astronomers make it out to be Dudley Do-Boring. Comets are dirty snowball cat duck dragons. They don't know for 100% if ISON is a comet. Welcome to the party, pal. Comet ISON. Stud, dud, thud, or other. All the above, or none of the above. Alright, after vanishing behind the sun in July, ISON has been recovered. And wouldn't you know it, it has been recovered by an amateur astronomer. That's right, Bruce Gary captured it on August 12th in Arizona under clear skies, and it does not appear it has brightened as much as expected. It's about one tick below where they expected or guessed it would be in magnitude. It's hanging out at about a 14. Guess they thought it'd be about a 13. Yeah, so Gary found it using an 11-inch telescope. Where 11 inches may sound big to you, that is not big for a telescope. Good job, Gary. And on that note, I want to ask, has anybody else noticed with new star Nova Delphini 2013, the new star that was found August 13th, coincidentally, wink wink nudge nudge, that was found by Japanese amateur astronomer Koichi Itagaki, and Comet ISON was recovered by amateur astronomer Bruce Gary. The scorecard would show that amateur astronomers are kicking the living crud out of professional astronomers. Like, what are all the professional astronomers doing? Eating caviar at strip clubs and snorting gold dust Skittles? I mean, come on. You know, when NASA formed its Comet ISON Observing Campaign, or the CIOC, it asked to basically put every telescope on the planet on ISON. So it was basically like having a potluck of ISON. Like, hey, everybody, bring what you can, and we'll all just feast off of it. Well, sure enough, you have amateur astronomers stepping up to the plate with lobster steaks, hamburgers, and cupcakes. And what have the professional astronomers given back at this point? Zero. Nothing. It's like they call the potluck party and then they don't want to bring any food. What the heck is up with that, man? That's pretty skeezy, bro. That's pretty super skeezy, man. Like, if you're gonna be the host of a potluck party, you gotta bring a dish. You gotta bring some food and some cakes and some cookies and some cheese or something. You know, who does that? And we all know the aptly named Deep Impact satellite was going to be taking photographs of it August 9th and 10th. It is now the 18th, and you guys haven't shared those photos. You know, what is it about those photographs that you'd have to keep for 9 days? Why can't you just release them? You know, you guys are the ones who came up with the Comet ISON Observing Campaign disco dance, rave celebration. You gotta bring a dish, but you ain't giving nothing. I mean, what are you guys gonna wait to give us all a good data after ISON returns? It even says on the CIOC site, this CIOC website is the hub for up-to-date information about Comet ISON. Well, ain't that the rub? Because the hub is only giving information that has been given by amateur astronomers. What about the $1 billion, the $1 million, and $100,000 professional telescopes you guys got? How come we have not seen any images from them? WTF is up with that? Dude, I would like to know. That does not make a lot of sense. And that is not fair. And then you got, like, the professional astronomers and comet friggin' experts commenting on the amateur astronomers' finds. And it's like, dude, if you are such a comet expert, how come you didn't take a photograph of it? And another thing, as far as we know, since it was recovered on the 12th, only 2 guys have found it with their telescopes. Out of all the people on Earth with telescopes, amateur, professional, only 2 guys have caught ISON with their telescopes. Why is this? That seems odd. That's like poo-poo math, man. And they're not giving us nothing. That is true. And over here at the CIOC, you got Carl Batoms, a comet expert, commenting on an amateur astronomer's find, because apparently he's not expert enough to shoot it with a telescope himself. Where I'm going to go ahead and guess that he's got way better equipment to work with than amateurs do. But it is interesting to note that Carl Batoms does note 2 things. First, ISON is still alive and well. And secondly, that it has been recovered a couple weeks earlier than he would have expected. Let me double that up for you in the editing so it sinks in. Secondly, it has been recovered a couple weeks earlier than he would have expected. Yeah, it doesn't really sound like the experts are that experty at all. I mean, no disrespect, Carl, or Carl's hot secretary who might be watching this. But we'd like a little more production out of our professionals, thank you very much. I do love Carl's wonky doublespeak and his ability to say do me stuff without say do me stuff all scientifically. Like, for example, this is a critical point. While this certainly looks like a comet, does it move the way we would expect it to be moving? If it does, then that's another valuable piece of evidence that we are indeed looking at what we hope it is. What? Oh. While it still looks like a comet, does it move the way we would expect it to be moving? So you guys don't even know if it's a comet, right? Okay, great. Alright, so you guys don't even know it's a comet? Okay, that is great information to know. If it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it is a dirty snowball that acts like a cat. If, a cat happened to be on fire and gravitationally bound to some other type of animal that it rotated around it every 10,000 years, right? See? That's what we're dealing with here, people. This is the madness of information that is being pumped out. If it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a dirty snowball that acts like a cat, that acts like a dragon. Right? That's what's going on here. You can call me a wiki-wacky gobstopper, but yeah, feel like I'm dealing with the Federal Reserve here, asking why it's a good idea to buy the debt of houses and not the debt themselves. And then Carl crosses out a bunch of lines talking about how Bruce, Gary, found it in a different place than the NPC JPL observations, but that's just because he made a mistake. Which is interesting because it's in the exact place NASA thought it would be, except it's a few weeks earlier than they thought it would be there. What? Okay. What? Huh? What? Okay. Man, see? It's like someone took a big spoon and stuck it in my brain and started whipping it around, making my brain into brain whip. Miracle brain whip. Good on stuff. Miracle brain whip. Good on thinking. And then Carl goes on to say, Ison's brightened up somewhat, and Bruce is going to make follow-up observations at the next opportunity. Okay, so the entire NASA CIOC campaign is now depending on Bruce? I mean, are you guys going to do anything? Or are you just going to let them do all the work and then funnel through the data? Are we ever going to get to see the, deep impact stuff? Are we ever going to get to see the good crap, man? Or is that all at the Caviar Strip Club party, which no normal people who are not being funded by non-public dollars will get to attend? Yay, State of Affairs 2013, man. Sinkhole City. And over here on the blog at the CIOC, they get Bruce Gary's written account, and he even says, trying to recover Comet ISON was the last thing on my mind when our local astronomy club member, Doug Snyder, asked local astronomers to join his project in trying to be the first to recover the comet. Okay, so a ragtag group of wacky, non-professional club member individuals just found it, and we can't get anything from the professionals or the semi-professionals or anybody who's ever cashed a check from NASA or the ESA or the IAU. Man, government in action. And then they get Bruce to say he glitched his shit. Whatever, man. If you're the only one to find it, I think you did pretty perfect, bro. And why really do we only have this guy, and I think I saw another photograph of another guy. Why do we only have two people? Alright, Ducky, you admit at this point you're still not 100% sure it's a comet. That is very reassuring. Okay, great. My brain feels like somebody's punching me in the face with a Rubik's Cube. Comets are like dragon cats. Alright, so either I'm confused or I'm not confused at all, which would mean I was confused about being confused, I think. I don't know, I'm gonna have to look that up. Speaking of that, isn't Amy Mainzer like a head-ranking member of the Everything Comets NASA committee? How come I can't get a single dang tweet? I mean, seriously. It's like you guys are the royalty, and I'm just sloshing around here in the waste. Just a peasant. YouTube peasant. That's what Thor is. YouTube peasant. Mine's not him. He's a YouTube peasant, he is.